Hello and welcome to a new edition of the Caribbean Outlook Show here on Radio Habana, Cuba. I'm your host, Lena Valverde. Stay tuned. The Caribbean Development Bank will finance consultancy services for a study to explore options for establishing a maritime cargo service between Barbados, Grenada, Guyana, and Trinidad and Tobago, primarily for the movement of agricultural products. The initiative is part of the bank's pledge to improve food security within the Caribbean and to promote regional cooperation. It also demonstrates the bank's support for the imperative announced last year by CARICOM heads of government to achieve a 25% reduction in the region's food import bill by the year 2025. The heads identified the lack of adequate regional transportation as a major obstacle to the movement of agricultural products within the region and a major contributor to food insecurity. The project will explore options for addressing a range of factors affecting the conveyance of agricultural products by sea, including management and operational systems, onshore facilities, food safety provisions, and customs and plant quarantined operations. The main objective is to identify opportunities for urgent improvement in maritime transportation capacity, recommend transportation modalities, and provide solutions using existing shipping assets. A technical working group will be established to provide oversight of the study. The body will include representatives from governments of the participating countries, the CARICOM Secretariat, the CARICOM Private Sector Organization, and the Caribbean Development Bank. Canadian Ambassador to Cuba John Jeffrey confirmed earlier this week the business potential during a visit to Eastern Holguin Province in the framework of the 16th Expo Holguin 2023 Trade Fair, which has Canada as guest country of honor. Jeffrey underscored relations between the two governments in the fields of mining, healthcare, science, renewable energy, and tourism. He stressed efforts to strengthen bilateral links with Holguin Province in the development of new private companies led by women, one of the priorities of the Canadian government. Meanwhile, the director of the Cuban Chamber of Commerce, Antonio Luis Carricarte, stressed the need to further boost bilateral links in mining, hotel management, and business alliances between the public and private sectors. Carricarte underscored also the existing potential for closer links in the areas of culture, traditions, crafts, tourism, and other attractions with the Dominican Republic, Panama, and Spain, which are participating also in the fair in Holguin. The event is being attended by state-run and private companies, and it's sponsored by the Cuban Chamber of Commerce and the Cuban Ministry for Foreign Trade and Foreign Investment. You're tuning in to Radio Havana, Cuba, and we're presenting a new edition of our weekly Caribbean Outlook Show. Stay tuned. During a visit earlier this week to Kingston, Jamaica, Argentine envoy Ambassador Gustavo Martinez Pandiani told the St. Vincent Times that CELAC's relationship with all countries are good. However, they are not on the same agenda. The Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC, includes all countries from Mexico to the south, from Chile to the Caribbean. It's only Latin American and Caribbean states, no United States, no Canada, and no Europe. The idea is to get those who are neighbors together, the Argentine envoy said, adding, "We understand that Latin America and the Caribbean are our own neighborhoods. Then we have our external, what we call extra-regional partners, which are the United States, Europe, China, Russia, and all other parts of the world. The Argentine ambassador clarified that although Latin American and Caribbean nations don't want to have a bad relationship with anyone, our aim is to protect our own resources. You know, our region is very rich in terms of natural resources, mineral resources, lithium, agriculture, water, everything, and sometimes we feel other parts of the world are looking at our resources like they are theirs. So the idea is not to have bad relationship with the United States or with anybody in particular. But of course, if we have to defend our own agenda, our own interests, we are going to do so very, very strongly, because that is what our people want. This is what CELAC means when it says our resources are ours, and we are going to protect them because they are part of our future, the Argentine ambassador said. In a related news story, St. Vincent and the Grenadines shared its first National Coordinators meeting as the rotating president of the Community of Latin American and Caribbean States, CELAC. The meeting was held virtually on March 28th. The meeting of national coordinators convenes in the country holding the pro tempore presidency. These meetings coordinate dialogue and political consensus at the national level, facilitate regional integration, monitor cooperation on projects within the organization, organize, coordinate, and observe working groups, function as the preparatory body for the meetings of ministers of foreign affairs, and report the findings of working groups to the ministers. National coordinators serve as a link between member states and the pro tempore secretariat by coordinating and directly monitoring topics under discussion, and meet twice yearly before the meeting of foreign ministers. The agenda of the national coordinators meeting included a briefing to the CELAC members on the upcoming CELAC EU Summit, which is scheduled to convene in Brussels on July 17th and 18th this year. This is the first CELAC EU Summit within 5 years and will be co-chaired by Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines Ralph Gonsalves in his capacity as the pro tempore president of CELAC, and Charles Mitchell, President of the European Council. And that's all we have time for today on Radio Havana, Cuba's Caribbean Outlook Show. We would like to end today's program with a tune by singer-songwriter Liuba Maria Evia, who has just been awarded the Shaman Prize, granted by the traveling Ibero-American oral narration office attached to the Contemporary Art Center in Madrid, Spain. The high distinction recognizes Liuba's exceptional contribution to women's empowerment and the development and promotion of communication, culture, and oral narratives. We leave you now with Liuba and her tune, Valga que sé, valga que soy, featuring none other than Cuban singer Omar Portuondo, the diva of Buena Vista Social Club. We know you will enjoy. Until next time.
Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy, valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy, de dónde soy, de dónde soy. Yo he sembrado en mi garganta lo vivido, mi guitarra ha recogido la cosecha, no pudo acertar mejor mi flecha, mi flecha, mi flecha. Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy, valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy, de dónde soy, de dónde soy. Yo no creo en la insolencia de la moda, ni persigo la tendencia del momento. Yo no no lucro con mi sentimiento, con mi sentimiento. Mi sentimiento, valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy, valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy, de dónde soy, de dónde soy. No hay tesoro más inmenso, nada vale más que el camino del amor en este viaje. En la música he gastado cuanto traje, por eso voy sin armadura ni equipaje. Valga que canta la palma en mi voz, valga que trajo el amor mi raíz, válgame libre el sinsonte de abril. Valga que el río armoniza mejor la melodía que da el porvenir, válgame dueña de sobrevivir. Cuando traspase el umbral definitivo, nada llevo de amuleto ni resguardo, todo lo he dejado aquí, cantando, cantando.
Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy.
Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy.
De la tierra de Corona, de Cindo, de Silvio, de Pablo, de la isla de la trova, de la isla de la trova.
Valga que sé de dónde soy.
La tierra de son, tabaco, guayabera, de la Guajira, Guantanamera.
Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde
De la
soy.
tierra de Varela, Céspedes, Martí, Heredia,
Bendita tierra en la que yo nací.
Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy.
humilde y humano, laborioso, jaranero y campechano, ese es el pueblo cubano.
Valga que sé, valga que soy, valga que sé de dónde soy.
De dónde soy, de dónde soy, de dónde soy. Cuando traspase el umbral definitivo, nada llevo de amuleto ni resguardo, todo lo he dejado aquí,
Cantando,
cantando.
yo cantando.